Hi Aquarius, welcome to your love reading for June 2018. This is Elizabeth from channelguidance.com. Okay, so I've already shuffled the decks. Let's go ahead and begin. This is for confirmation, but first let's get you 9 cards from this deck. And this is a love reading for the sign of Aquarius for June. You have the 3 of Cups, love reading for the sign of Aquarius. 10 of Swords, love reading for Aquarius. King of Swords, love reading for the sign of Aquarius. Knight of Wands, love reading for Aquarius. Queen of Wands, love reading for the sign of Aquarius. 7 of Cups, love reading for the sign of Aquarius. 5 of Coins, love reading for the sign of Aquarius. 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups. Okay, what's the most important thing that Aquarius needs to hear from this deck for June 2018? You have the World. So the World is about endings. This is a major arcana, which means there can be something changing in your love life, in your relationship. Usually for the better. The World is, a card of victory, but it does represent endings and new beginnings. So we'll come back to this card to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Let's focus on the first 3 cards. And you have the 3 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and the King of Swords. So you are here as an air sign. Of course, if you have a partner who is either an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, this can also be them. Now, you start off with a really positive card. You have the 3 of Cups, which does usually mean that you are very happy. This card does represent happiness and celebration, but also is a card of marriage. Right next to it and right next to you is, this energy of it's time to move on, which brings me to the main energy that I pulled for you, the World. A major arcana that means something has, reached the end of its cycle. So for some of you, it could be that you're watching this video because it's time to move on. Usually with the 10 of Swords, the loudest message this card is giving is that it's time. It's time for you to just walk away. You've been through enough. You've been down long enough. And for some of you, not for everyone, but it could be that you are struggling in a relationship, either a marriage, because you have a marriage card here, or in a long-term relationship. And it's just time to move on. It's right next to your energy, so this is a loud message for you. And for some, where you're not moving on, maybe you're not, you don't want a divorce or you don't want to break up. It could be that it's time to get past something that you're holding on to, like a betrayal, your partner cheating on you, maybe a really difficult cycle that you have been in, been through as a couple. Because remember, that is what the World is telling you. In some way, for Aquarius, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Now, in the next row here, you have the Knight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the 7 of Cups. So you have a person here. This is a fire sign, so that would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. This is someone around you, and the first thing that I'm getting is that this can be, for those who are dating, maybe someone that you're interested in or they're interested in you. You have the Knight of Wands, which means that someone is very eager to move forward with a relationship. That's what I see here. The Knight of Wands, this is someone that wants to see results now, someone that's really self-confident, somebody that really wants to see movement and change in a relationship. But over here I see something else, something totally different. This is the energy of someone that's highly confused and highly lost. And it could be, that this queen, again, it could be male or female, this person that you're interested in, maybe this could even be a different message than the row up here. It could be that the person that you want to be with, that you're very much interested in seeing movement in the relationship, especially if you want a higher level of commitment. But they may be in this energy here where they don't know what they want. And usually with a 7 of Cups, you don't know what you want. You're confused because there's usually other choices, or you don't know what you want. But it can also be, for those who, where there is no one else, there are no other choices. It could be that you really want to stay with your partner. You really want to move forward, but you don't know how. And that's maybe where all this comes in. Maybe you don't know how to move forward because you're in a really difficult place where maybe, you're feeling like it's time to move on. But again, you're really, I see the energy of confusion and being really emotional and really lost. Part of you just wants to move forward with this person. I feel like you're very indecisive right now. Now down here, it's more of the same. Look at this right here. You have two tens, 10 of wands, 10 of cups. The tens represent endings, and you have, let me just bring it over here so you can see it. You have three tens right here. Three tens. You have the 10 of wands, the 10 of cups, and the 10 of swords. Not only, you have also the world. There's a strong energy of endings around Aquarius. And again, I mean, just because I'm saying endings does not mean that you're getting a divorce or you're breaking up. For some of you, I mean, if you're very unhappy, if you're miserable, if you don't want to be with your partner anymore, then you know that that's what it means. It's time to move on. But it can be that a negative cycle in your relationship and your marriage, it's time to let go. It's time to move on. Either forgive the person, get past whatever you're going through, or just move on. Because I see the energy of suffering here. With the 5 of coins, this means that somebody feels really lonely and isolated, and someone's about to give up. The 10 of wands is the energy of this has become too much. And this is someone that doesn't want to deal with something anymore. They're ready to move on. You do have the 10 of cups, which does represent happiness. It represents, a happily ever after. It's also a marriage card. So even though, I feel like for some of you, especially for those who are already married and have children, something's going on where you feel like just giving up on your relationship. It could either be you, hard to say in a general reading. It's either that you're wanting to give up on a marriage, maybe because you're miserable, maybe because you feel really lonely, or maybe it's your partner that wants to give up. Maybe it's your partner that is talking about endings, because you have a major theme in this reading with so many tens, and then the world as the main energy, again, of endings. But again, you do have, the 10 of cups here. You start, let me just lift the camera here. You start and you end the reading. So I am going to get more cards for you. You start with marriage, 3 of cups, and you end with marriage, a happily ever after. So I feel like, even if you are going through a divorce, maybe that's why you're watching this reading, there will be someone else. There will be somebody else. And for others, it could be that, maybe you're going through a really difficult cycle. I see that in the cards, but again, it's just, the energy of happiness is here. Usually the first card and the last of the 9 that I pull, they're usually very significant. And I see happiness around you, no matter what you're going through. Let's get a few more cards for you to see what the rest of the message is. What other messages are there for the sign of Aquarius for June? 8 of Cups. What other messages are there for the sign of Aquarius? The Ace of Cups and the 2 of Cups. Sorry, 2 of Coins. So, interesting. Here we go again. The 8 of Cups. You have all these tens. I just talked to you about the tens and the world, which are endings. And then you have the card, the goodbye card, a card of moving on. Somebody wants to move on because they're not happy. And then you have the Ace of Cups, which does represent a new beginning, a new relationship, a new love. But it can even be rekindling a relationship. What I get from these 3 cards is that, somebody, it's here in the card. Somebody feels like maybe they should move on. Moving on here, moving on here. Like literally, here's your energy as an air sign. You are surrounded with the energy of moving on. Moving on because it's time, and moving on because you're not happy. And I feel like you're contemplating this with the 2 of Coins. The 2s have to do with choices, choosing between 2 things, 2 people, 2 outcomes. And I feel like for some of you, like you're throwing around the idea of maybe like moving on to someone else, because you wonder if like you could be happier with someone else, if someone can provide a healthier relationship. I also feel like for some of you, you have an option of moving on. Like there could already be somebody that you're interested in or somebody that you're drawn to. Again, this is you having to make a choice. The 2 of Coins, this is scattered energy. This is everything's kind of up in the air right now. And, there is just a loud message in this reading that for Aquarius, the possibility of endings is there. but there's also a strong energy of new beginnings and happiness for you. Okay, so let's move on to the confirmation deck to see what other cards come up for you. What other message is there for the sign of Aquarius? King of Swords. What other message is there for the sign of Aquarius? Four of Cups. The sign of Aquarius. King of Wands. Well, that's interesting. Okay, what is the most important message that Aquarius needs to hear for the month of June? The Four of Swords. So this is, the energy of retreating. This is saying that maybe you could use some space right now. Because, I see that there's a lot going on in your love life. This is the energy of maybe like needing some time to yourself, or maybe your partner's asked for some space. This means that you have a lot going on mentally that you need to sort through. So let's look at these three cards right here that I just pulled for you. So your energy, look at this. Your energy has popped up again. You already have, you can see it right here, the King of Swords. So you're an air sign. So this is you. Here's you, and here's somebody else. Another fire sign right next to the Queen of Wands from the other deck. There's a strong energy of a fire sign around you. Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. You and another person. And the energy of being unhappy and unfulfilled. So that's, a pretty crystal clear message for you, especially considering all the other cards, the tens that you have, the World as the main energy. I feel like you're unhappy in a relationship. You're bored. The Four of Cups usually just means not only that you're unhappy or unfulfilled, you're bored with what's going on. It could be that you're bored because you're with the wrong partner, or maybe you're bored because there's a lot of disagreements. There's something going on here with the Five of Coins. You feel like somebody has completely shut you out emotionally. Maybe you feel completely in the dark. Like you don't know why this person's not responding anymore. You don't know why they don't show love anymore. And you feel like completely giving up on this person with the Ten of Wands. This is someone that is, about to reach their boiling point and just walk away. And, ironically, speaking of walking away, I actually did pull that card for you. The Goodbye card. So, I feel like there's a strong energy with Aquarius, whether you are just dating somebody or you are already married. I feel like, there's a strong energy of doubts. And, with a general reading, it's hard to say whether it's you or your partner. But, I do get the feeling that for the majority of you who are watching, I feel like it's you. You're having doubts like, is this the best that I can do? Is this all I'm going to get? Because I see it in so many cards. I see it here with the Ten of Swords. I see it with the Eight of Cups. I see it here with the Seven of Cups. The Five of Coins. It's everywhere. The Ten of Wands. Four of Cups. It's everywhere. And again, let's just go over the main energies. It's just a strong message of it's time for a new cycle in your love life. And for some, it could be that, you've reached the point where you know that you and your partner are not going to get along. Maybe not everyone, but maybe you've already tried. Maybe you've already broken up lots of times and gotten back together. And then it always, it ends up the same way. It's time for a new cycle for you. So if you have been through this place where, you break up, you get back together, you break up, you get back together. It's time to make a decision because there is, a new beginning for you here. There is a new person. There is a new relationship. It's time for you to make up your mind. And I feel like you're not because you have the Two of Coins. This is indecision. This is a lot of going back and forth. It's time for you to decide because it's time for a new cycle in your love life. It's actually time for you to be happy because you start with that energy with the Three of Cups. It's time, for a healthy relationship. But again, this comes with an ending. The World is just something that naturally played itself out. The other main energy is the Four of Swords, which means that you need some time to think. You need some time to figure things out because I feel like you have a lot going on in your mind. And for some of you, it could be that you've not yet talked to your partner about moving on. Maybe you're just feeling, I see that in the reading everywhere. I feel like you're feeling unhappy. You're feeling unfulfilled. You're feeling like maybe you should just, move on here. And with the Ten of Wands. So some of you have not maybe even told your partner that you're feeling unhappy. But again, this is something that it's time for decisions when it comes to when it comes to your love life. But just remember that even though you are confused, just notice you have the 7 and 8 of Cups here. You are confused. After confusion comes, after the 7 of Cups is the 8 of Cups, decision to move on, to choose your own happiness over, staying in a relationship or a marriage that is not bringing you any happiness. Of course, that is not everyone, but I just feel like you're dealing with an energy of like an ending and a new beginning. Maybe an end to arguments, an end to fighting. That energy from the 10 of Swords that you had right away, because it is next to your energy. So just kind of, looking at this reading, you have popped up 2 times, here and here. Here with the energy of, moving on. It's time to move on. And then over here, you've popped up again with the energy of feeling unhappy and unfulfilled. And again, for some of you, if your partner is a fire sign, this reading is really speaking to you, because you have the King and Queen of Wands, strong fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But either way, even if your partner is not a fire sign, I feel like there's something going on where you're questioning everything. And again, with the 4 of Swords being here as one of the main energies, it's really time for you to think about, maybe why you're having doubts about your partner, or why you're kind of questioning everything. Okay, Aquarius, this has been your love reading for June 2018. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again next month.